protocol already in place. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you this evening, representing Netherlands Insurance. I am Melissa Diali, and at Netherlands, I'm a customer relationship contact. Let me tell you a bit about the person standing before you. Well, I've been with Netherlands for 5 years now, and at Netherlands, I do a bit of accounts, claims, underwriting, customer service. So I do a bit of everything basically. And because of that, because I'm involved in basically a little bit of everything, I'm probably the best person to chat with you this evening. Before we proceed, I'd just like to give my commendations to the Communal Cooperative Credit Union for this initiative. It's very important that you're taking time to inform your clients and to share your clients with us. Because of the 17 insurance companies on the island, you chose Netherlands, and we appreciate that. We're honored to be here. So the topic for this evening that I'm going to speak about is how vulnerable are you? We're going to speak a little bit about what we do at Netherlands, what we have to offer, and in keeping with the line of the topic that we're going to be discussing today, property, mortgage, and investing in property, we're going to speak more about coverages that you will need. So that's contractors all risk, comprehensive householder, and we're going to speak a little bit about contents insurance. So basically, it's the insurance 411, all the basics that you need to know. Before I get into things, I'd just like to introduce you to our team at Netherlands. Our managing director is right at the middle. He's Mr. Richard Strawn, the only man in the mix. A lot of you may know him. He's on many boards and he's very involved. Mr. Strawn has over 30 years experience in insurance in both the Caribbean and the USA. And with his degree in actuarial science, there's no greater person to be at the helm. So we're happy to have Mr. Strawn. To his left is our corporate secretary, Ms. Angela Holas, and she's actually sitting with us here today. And to his right is Ms. Anne-Marie Gelino, our senior claims officer, and Ms. Gelino is also with us today. The other smiles that you see, the other faces, that's our team members. Well, some of our team members, because since this photo was taken, we've added more to our team. These are the warm smiles of our other customer relationship contacts that will assist you if you visit your office. If you visit our office, sorry. A little bit about Netherlands. So Netherlands was established in 1992 as a subsidiary of a Dutch insurance company. But presently, we're wholly independent and we boast local shareholders. So it's a local company. We do general insurance. So that joke, we wouldn't be in that position because we don't do life insurance. We do general insurance. That's motor and property business. We write in both Grenada and we do business in Antigua also, right? We provide insurance to over 3,000 individuals and families and businesses, both throughout Grenada and Antigua. All right, so I think that I need to define a few things before we move on. Firstly, insurance. What is insurance? Insurance is a legal contract that transfers risk from a policyholder to an insurance company in exchange for a premium. So basically, this diagram illustrates that. So policyholders' premiums, you pay them to the company, a common pool, and then there are payouts in the form of claims, right? And you'll notice, I know you're noticing that the premiums are much more than what's down there with the payouts, but of course, there are operational costs, as with everything, myself, staff, and so. So that's the reason. So we take contributions in the form of premiums from our policyholders, and put into this pool, but we always have to bear in mind that we have to be competitive, because we are not the only insurer out there. A few more key terms. So risk. Risk is the possibility of financial loss. Policyholder, that's the person who purchases and owns the insurance. An insurance company, of course, who the person providing insurance, the company providing insurance, there's policyholders. And premium is what you pay for your insurance, the cost of insurance. Insurance gives you peace of mind. If you're wondering why you should insure, insurance is all about peace of mind. No one wants the headache of wondering what is going to happen in the event of a loss. But by insuring your property, you transfer that headache to us. You transfer the worry and the hassle to us. In the industry, it's called risk transfer. For instance, you can ensure your prized property is protected by simply purchasing a householder policy and paying a premium. And paying a premium that is actually relatively small in comparison to what you would receive in the event of a total loss. So it makes sense. The factors determining whether you buy a policy and how much it's going to cost, they vary based on, and we're going to go through that in a little while. But the greater your risk, the more your insurance is going to cost. And we're going to go through what is deemed high risk in a little while. These are some of the coverages that we offer. So we do both personal coverages and business coverages, right? But what we're going to focus on today is personal coverages, and more so comprehensive householders, contractors, all risk, and contents. But we do a wide portfolio, as you can see. All right, so for those of us who are looking to invest and get the dream home, you would need this type of coverage in the course of construction. It's contractors all risk coverage. It provides coverage against property damage and against third-party injury claims. And that's basically the two types of risk that you're gonna have at a construction site: property damage and third-party injury. And when your construction is complete, you upgrade your policy to a fully comprehensive householder package. This covers the building when it's complete. Home is where the heart is. It provides coverage in the event that you have damage to your property against various perils, and I'll show you a few of the perils that we cover against. And it also covers liability for injuries that may occur on your property. All right, so we have this house.
Burglary is covered.
Burglary is covered.
Fire, of course.
Fire, of course.
Flood.
Flood.
And this one we've been having quite often in the region. Earthquakes. And based on where we're located, where our little island is, we often have scares with this: storms, hurricanes, cyclones. But that's where insurance comes in, right? Because you can be indemnified. Oh no, there's a tornado. You can be indemnified and brought right back to the position you were before the loss. And that's where insurance comes in. So it's very important that you insure your greatest asset. Just a bit of information I want to share. So in insurance, there is, I'm sure you're aware, there is something called an excess or a deductible. It's the first portion of the loss that you, the insured person, are responsible for. So apart from paying a premium, you are responsible for the first portion of every loss. And with householders insurance, that deductible varies based on what peril. So it's different with a hurricane compared to a fire. For instance, fire, we don't charge you a deductible. For hurricanes, it's 2% of your sum insured, of the value of your property. So additional coverages on the comprehensive householder, we cover things like architects and surveyors fees, breakage of glass and sanitary fixtures, underground pipes and cables, alternative accommodation, removal of debris, and door locks replacement. I'm going to share with you a few tips for buying homeowners insurance. Being on the inside, we're going to share with you what it is we look for, what we rate, factors that we use to rate property, so you can keep that in mind when building and planning. When you're doing a householder's policy, you need to set coverage to cover costs of rebuilding not just the building, but you should include things like your retaining wall and your driveway and other external works. That's important, because in the event of a claim, you may think that those things are covered, but insurance is very specific, so you need to insure those little bits. Itemize your contents. So we do contents insurance, and we request a listing of your contents. So if you're going to do contents insurance, you provide us with a list of what it is you want covered, your furniture, your appliances, and the respective values. Land is not insured. When requesting a quote from insurance companies, you always have to remember that land isn't covered. So you provide us with values for the building and, as I said, the retaining walls but not the land. You have to obtain maximum liability coverage, and safety features reduce costs. So things like alarm systems, burglar bars, reduce costs when it comes to insurance. You can include those things when building. These are some of the factors that we consider when giving you a premium, right? And we call it COPE. The first thing we consider is construction. What materials did you use on your external walls, your roof, your floor? Some materials pose a higher risk. For instance, wooden structures are higher risk than a concrete structure. A concrete roof is better, right? Occupancy, the use of the building. So is it fully private residential, or is it all living quarters, or do you have a supermarket downstairs, right? Do you have a hairdresser downstairs? These things cause different ratings. They pose different ratings because of the different risks associated with such. A private dwelling is going to receive a lower rate than someone who has a hairdresser or a restaurant downstairs. Protection, as we just spoke about. What form of protection do you have? The same burglar bars, security system, and so. And one of the things we consider, one more thing, is exposure. Is your property in a high risk? What is deemed high risk? An area that is deemed high risk. What is a high risk area? Is your property on the coastline? So it will be prone to storm surge and things like that. It's on a steep slope. Are you built next to an oil refinery? Are you next to a gas station? Things like that. So you can keep these in mind when considering where to build and how to build. And in line with what we're speaking about today, the Communal Cooperative Credit Union would be familiar with this, of course. Policies have clauses, and one of the clauses that they have is a mortgage clause. So basically, the mortgage clause covers the financial lending institution for the amount loaned. So you can get a loan and you name a mortgagee on your policy. In the event of a loss or so, we must repay your mortgagee for the amount loaned, whatever you have owed to them, right? And just for information again, you can name a mortgagee, and that's about it. Thereafter, they become the principal interest, so any changes, like for instance, if you want to decrease the value of your property, you can't do things like that without the approval of the mortgagee. You can't cancel your policy or suspend your policy without the approval of your mortgagee. They become the policy holder. Mr. Barry, I know this ties in with your job. Ensure you're accurately insured. So in insurance, there's something called average. It is important to insure for the accurate value, or else in the event of a claim, you may be subject to average. The law of average, if the sum insured at the time of a loss is less than the insurable value of the insured property, the amount claimed under the policy will be reduced in that proportion, right? So some people try to cut back on premium, but you end up losing in the long run and losing big time. Let me show you a little example with figures, a simple example. If you insure a property for $50,000, but the actual worth is $100,000, in the event of a loss, we're going to pay you in that same proportion. So let's say you had a fire, the entire house didn't burn down, but based on estimates, and so it's going to take $80,000 to fix your house. We're not going to pay you $80,000 because you did not pay enough premium for that. The same way that you invested in it, we will pay out that way, and that's how average works. So instead of receiving the full $80,000, it was 50% you put out, so we will give you 50% back. So it's very important. That's why you incorporate people like Mr. Barry, who will ensure that you get your valuations done. And so that's one of the things we require actually when doing a policy that we'd like to have on file, a valuation. I'm just going to touch a little bit on private motor because some of you may be interested in getting motor loans as well, or motor insurance. At Netherlands, we offer 3 types of motor coverages. We offer comprehensive, third-party fire and theft, and third-party only. Third-party only is the minimum insurance required to be on the road in Grenada. It only covers the third parties, just liability insurance. Who you hit, your vehicle isn't covered. With third-party fire and theft, it's a little upgrade because your vehicle is covered, but only against fire and theft, as it implies. And then with comprehensive, it's kind of like an all-risk policy, so your vehicle is covered. These are some of the things covered under a comprehensive policy. Collision for both parties, third-party injuries, fire and theft, windscreen damage, damage done by a hurricane, well, convulsions of nature, and malicious acts. But in Netherlands, we always like to go the extra mile, and we treat our customers well. We do our best. So in 2014, the company launched a more extension to our comprehensive householder package, or comprehensive motor package, sorry. So you get more for free. And that's more mobility. So in the event of an accident and your vehicle is immobilized, you get a loan a car for 14 days, so you're never inconvenienced. You're always on the move. More safety, we give you free windscreen coverage up to $3,000. You get that to repair any broken glass or windscreen in the vehicle, and there is no charge to that. You don't have to pay a deductible or anything. It's totally free. And more service. So we offer 24-hour roadside assistance, a recovery service. Our team serves exclusively Netherlands customers, and so you can call in the event of a breakdown, a lockout, an accident, or so anything you need help with on the road. The service is free. And last year, I'm proud to say that we launched an app for the roadside assistance. So we have our 24-hour roadside assistance app to make it easier in contacting our team. Why insure with Netherlands? I know I've been informing you of things with insurance, but I just want to share a little bit on why Netherlands. We're reliable. We've stood the test of time, right? We've built a reputation over the years. Actually, after Hurricane Ivan, Netherlands Insurance, I'm proud to say this, we were the first company to pay out on a claim after Hurricane Ivan. We offer superior coverage at affordable rates. You can call the office and you can visit our sites, and we'll be happy to quote you. We have very attractive rates. And most importantly, and as we're speaking about property, we have very good reinsurance, first-class reinsurance from London, England. If you're wondering what reinsurance is, it's basically insurance for insurance companies. So you insure with us, but we insure our risk also to ensure that we're solvent in the event of a massive disaster. So we have reinsurance. At Netherlands, we're a family. I don't know how many of you visited our office, but customer service is priority at Netherlands. We treat you like family. So we have a team of trained customer relationship contacts and advisors to ensure you get the best use and you get out of your products, and that you get the best products. On visiting our office, you can expect a warm welcome, warm smiles. We seat you in a private meeting room for your privacy and comfort, equipped with Wi-Fi. We offer you a complimentary beverage. It's all about the customer at Netherlands Insurance. That is our top priority, our customer service. And I know you hear about us a lot in the media and so, because we are a proud supporter of the arts. We don't take that lightly. From grassroots, from community level to the big stage, we support the arts. And these are just a few of the things that we've sponsored: the Boca Model School Music Program, Pure Grenada Music Festival, Carols by Candlelight. We believe in giving back to the community. We offer special group plans to teachers, police officers, and taxi owners. All right, so how to get a quote. You can visit our office. We're right next door at the Netherlands building, same building with First Caribbean. We'd be happy to see you. Or you can visit our website, and last year we upgraded our website. It's a lovely interface, easy to use. You can get quotes on there, or you can call. So the contact information is here. All right, so thank you for your attention. You were a very attentive audience. I appreciate that. And thank you again to the Communal Cooperative Credit Union for having us here today. We're honored.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Dialli. I think that was quite an informative presentation for those of us who might know a little or not much about insurance. I think she took us through the stages from construction to, what type of insurance you have then, to after construction and so on. And at this time, we'll open up the floor. But just so you know, by the way, we are streaming live as we speak. So don't be fearful to ask your questions. If you want to get the information out there, it's good information that's been shared here today. So at this time, we'll just open up the floor for any additional questions that you may have, anything you want clarified or any other issue relating to insurance that you would want to address to Ms. Dialli. Take him. Oh, he's the one who facilitates. Okay, so my mistake. So this is Mr. Edwards, and he's the one who will facilitate the questions under this segment. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. All right, like you said, my name is Mr. Edwards, attorney at law at the Law Office of George E. Klein. My role here is basically to give the legal intake to the Residential Mortgage and Financial Symposium here. Also to sum up and join with the insurance company, because when you're investing in a home, it's a risk that we all take. So you have to make sure you have everything in order, including simple things like a sale agreement, a deed, same the valuation. We recommend certain things. So I now open the floor for any questions y'all may have tying in the insurance and any legal questions that may be on your mind. Yes?
I
pay on the 25th, but they did not inform the company. Between the 21st and the 25th, let's say on the 23rd, a fire occurred and the home is destroyed. So taking into consideration, one, the consistency of the payments, and two, that the payment was actually due on the 21st but was not made, what would be the position of the insurance company with that faithful client? Thank you.
My legal advice to you is that you see as a first question. So I'll hand the floor to Ms. Diali to verify that.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, so we can hold you covered, but that is without, we can hold you covered once you state your intention that you'd like to renew your policy. But as you said, the person did not
From the company. So I'm not too sure how the company is going to handle that, because we do hold customers covered before the payment if they promise to pay and once they state their intention to renew. Okay.
So every time you pay, right, it's like a renewal you're doing. So your last payment is only good for you for that 30 days. And then, so if it's every 30 days you need to pay, on the first of the next month, you're basically starting all over in some way, because you're not, so if you choose, as he says, 5 days, as your due date has been passed for 5 days, and you've paid all these years, it really doesn't matter unless, of course, you check your policy and see if there is some contingent for that in the policy. Outside of that, if they don't say anything to you, then it would be based on what the policy says, plus what your company decides to do.
Right, yes. So that's a decision that will have to be made by management, but you don't have to worry about that with Netherlands. We send our renewal notices a month in advance. We call you, we'll email you, so you don't have to worry about forgetting. Okay? But once you state your intention to renew, you would be fine. So even if you know you have financial constraint for the 21st and you say, okay, I can pay by the 23rd, it's very important to state that.
Just to add to that, there is an importance to have that renewal notice sent to you as a legal point.
Okay.
Ensure that people know that, right?
The other thing, she talked about valuing your property, having a valuation on file when you go. So if you purchase a property or you just finish construction, have a valuation on file. But being in real estate, the real estate market changes. So as it changes, your property could reduce in value as well as increase in value. So then is there, I was just asking her, is there stipulated time that the insurance would say, you need to value your house every 3 to 5 years in order to keep up with the market conditions? Because I know after Ivan, I've had a client who, they had valued that house maybe 3 or 4 years before, and then when Ivan happened, the value, they just had a valuation done like a day before, like just got it, and the house increased in value like by 15%. And that saved them for the insurance, because the value they had before that was much less, of course. So I think people need to understand that just don't leave that valuation, the first valuation, because you have made improvements since, and you would have, your value might have increased in the area in which you're living. So you want to make sure you get all that money if something goes wrong.
Yes, I totally agree. Ms. Jellin, our claims officer there, is saying that we 3 years is a good period to keep updating your information and valuing your property again. Okay?
Any more questions? You can just stand and let everybody hear your question.
Okay, so taking into consideration the effects of climate change on the region, speak to perilous perils, something I think most policyholders are not too familiar with, and I could do with a bit of clarification myself.
Can you share a little on the question? Like, I didn't quite you said perilous perils.
Yeah. She needs to understand in the policy, they always talk about perils, and so, and what she's saying with climate change currently, you know, that is a big hurricanes, and you're having the climate change now with even erosion, and more floods are expected. So the prediction is that we'll have more catastrophes happening in the next few years.
Exactly. So I think it's a clause that policy owners don't really understand, because
the perils.
When it happens, then you say, oh, but you're not covered for that.
Well, I shared when I was presenting about the perils that are covered. I actually have a policy book with me, a sample policy book. So you're going to be covered against all that. Now you're speaking about climate change and how often these things happen. If you're wondering how this affects insurance, how often these things happen affect the rates that are offered in the market, right? So more hurricanes because of climate change, and so that would, because we shop for reinsurance in London and so based on things like that, that affects the going rate in the market. After Ivan, rates may have gone up a little bit, things like that, but that's why you have insurance, and I have a policy book here with all the perils. Actually, and I forgot to say this in my presentation, we have a few gift bags at the back for all of you, and in there you'll find a summary of cover for a comprehensive householder policy. So you'll see all the things that are covered: hurricane, earthquake, aircraft, riot, I said earthquake, yes, sorry.
We have one thing.
All those things are covered, right?
Adding to that, in the legal aspect, you must cover, if your policy covers hurricane, you must cover. They must cover you. They must, legally. So even though there's a climate change and you're under, let's say, the hurricane, the flooding, etc., that's why sometimes it's better to come to the lawyer to write the insurance companies the letters, because we know exactly how to frame what you need to frame after we read the policy. Most times persons go by themselves to write up their claims, etc. I'm sorry. Pay the little money to the lawyer to handle your business. You do very well. All right, any more questions for the insurance company in a legal aspect, anything? And something to add to with home coverages and so, you know, before you build a home, there's the issue of property title. And some persons in Grenada, well, most persons in Grenada, although they buy their property, some people get property inherited from their fathers, their mothers, their grandparents. Us in Grenada sometimes don't even bother to get a proper conveyance done. And unfortunate for persons is when they reach to the courthouse, that's when we lawyers try to fix that problem. That is an important thing. Wills are not conveyances. Wills are not conveyances. A conveyance is a legal document, a deed, which gives you property title, and you must have that. In terms of wills, the importance of having a will itself, because we have situations where persons don't make wills, and then if they die, what happens? What happens to the family? What happens to the wife? What happens to the children? What happens to the property itself? Because you have situations, I always use this case where there was a husband, there was a husband and a wife. The husband moved out of the house, went to live with his mistress. Then the mistress kicked him out. He moved back to the wife. But then he died and he hadn't had a will. What happened? He had children with the wife and the mistress. The children claimed their portion in that estate. What happened? Those are the issues that happen when you don't have a proper legal will. So that's a very, very important thing in Grenada. I know most persons say, well, that's when I get old, and so no. As soon as you own some form of asset, you should get a will done. All right, any more questions in terms of? Okay, thank you. Uh-huh.
In terms of divorce, because most times persons are not clear, not divorce or marriage.
Uh-huh.
Persons are not clear when you may have a house and then you get married.
Uh-huh.
And you may have had a will prior to marriage, but when you get married, that changed. So can
Yes.
you explain that?
All right. When you get married, it is not automatic that the interest goes to husband and wife. That's the past. It doesn't go like that. When you get married, it's not a 50-50 play. It's not, especially if you have a lawyer. Especially if you have a lawyer. The court now has an approach where it is who contributed to the marriage that determines the interest of the property they would have. Understood? So sometimes a wife would say, well, half is mine, half is not yours.
Husband too.
Husband too. Half is not yours. Because there's some situations where we actually got more for the wife, and the husband came into the marriage with the house and the land. So you need to understand the law is it's evolving. We're moving away from the half-half situation. It's balancing. Yes? Definitely not. No. We actually brought that case to the Privy Council and they didn't open the door. So that's why we try to urge persons who are not married to participate in something called mediation and settle all matrimonial assets.
I have one question for you because it's important.
Uh-huh.
As a realtor, sometimes a young couple would come to us and say they want to buy properties together, but they're not married. So I always ask them, okay, if you're not married, you need to, because you're putting in maybe two of you going for the mortgage together, so there should be some legal document to say if for some reason you guys split, that this is how, so what, as a lawyer, how, because I tell them to speak to their lawyer, because you know, everything is good now, but when something happens, it goes, so what, as a lawyer, what would you advise?
I won't advise anything at this point. At this point. If two persons are buying a house together, ensure that both persons' names are on that document when you sign.
Right, you see?
Right? But after that, you come to us.
Okay. That is different.
I think that wraps up our section. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So we want to thank Ms. Diali and Mr. Edwards for facilitating those questions. By the way, if you have any more questions, be minded that after the formal part of the program, there's a cocktail, at which point you can engage any of our important experts here on whatever questions you may have. Right? So moving along, I think we're a little bit behind time. But I'll just give you my last joke for the night, right? Before we call the real estate expert. So there was a real estate person walking on a beach one time. I don't know, do you know the joke? You're laughing already. So walking on the beach, and he happened to run into a little lamp under the sand. So as the optimists that they tend to be, picked it up and rubbed the lamp. Right, so genie popped out. No, the genie said, I'll grant you 3 wishes, right? But in order to keep you humble, again, disclaimer, this does not necessarily represent anybody sitting here tonight. But in order to keep you humble, anything I grant you, I'll grant twice as much to your biggest competitor. So the real estate agent thought about it. Okay, I'll take you up on that. So the first wish, I want $10 million. Genie said, granted, but your rival now has 20. She said, no problem. Second wish, I want a vintage Ferrari. Granted, no problem, but now your rival has 2 Ferraris. So finally, before the third wish, Genie said, no, you have one last wish. Be minded of that, think carefully. So the real estate agent thought for a while and then said, I wish that I can donate 1 kidney. I don't think you got it. Because if the rival loses 2, they die. Anyway, so as we move along, In terms of protocol, I don't want to recognize the arrival of Mr. Philip, who is the president of the Credit Union League. Very important person. We're happy to have you here, gracing us with your presence. Okay, so moving right along, we'll invite Mrs. Latouche Keller to share with us in her area of expertise.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I'm a bit nasal tonight. I must say I feel very special to be invited tonight and with protocol in place. I told Chanel this morning I really care about Communal because I've been in bed for 2 days with a cold, and I got up to come to this presentation tonight. So this is how important it is for me to be here and to share a little bit more information on the role of a realtor in purchasing a home and also investing, because any real estate you purchase it's an investment, no matter how you look at it. But before I start my presentation, concerning Mr. Edwards and all the pitfalls he's advised, well, he didn't give advice, you have to pay him for that. But realtors, that's why we're here. It's to add value and to help you make an informed and wise decision in purchasing property. And if I may ask, how many of you have actually used a realtor? One? Oh my God, we're not doing a good job, Beverly. Well, great. I'm happy to know, because then it helps me understand and to give you more information on how we could advise you and guide you through the purchase, the transaction from start to finish. And I don't get into the legal aspect because that's what Mr. Klein is here for, but I would go into why invest, what are the pitfalls, what you should look for, how a real estate agent can help you through the process, and also to give you some market insight, because I think a lot of you are seeing things happening in Grenada and really don't understand. You see all the new construction, you see the boom in construction with SGU housing, apartments, and all of that, and you may have a little money, or the credit union might have said to you, you know what, you qualified to take out more than, you know, what you currently have. Maybe you can take out equity on your property. I don't know if you guys do that. Current property that you own, we can give you money on that, and maybe you can see as an opportunity to invest. And investing means maybe adding an additional apartment downstairs your property and renting it out so you can get some additional income, or it could be building a new property and for commercial or residential purposes. So you guys know who I am, so I'm not going to go back there. But Century 21 is a global company. We have over 10,000 agents worldwide. I just came from a conference, and it was great because it really made me realize the force we have in the market. We're known globally to be one of the best real estate agents. We were just voted in 2018 as #1 in North America and Europe. So it just tells you that we do care about our clients, and we're here to give them the experience and also help them make informed decisions when purchasing. We have a huge referral network and provide services outside of sales. We do rentals, property management, valuations, consultancy services, and the consultancy services is for you who wants to invest in huge commercial properties and you don't know what to do, how to go about doing it, what the market would be. You come to us and we have the data to provide you so that you could build and invest in the right property so that you can earn money. Because a lot of people just have a vague understanding of what's happening in the market, and they may think that the market needs a daycare center, but it actually doesn't, right? So we're here to help you with the research. We do the surveys, we do all the, we compile all the information for you, so when you come, we could say, here is the data, this is what you need to do, right? And we do work with, currently I am working with HVL, which is a huge hotel valuation service company in the US. That is hooked up with Century 21, and anytime a hotel has to be built in Grenada, that's where they go. And we compile all the data for them. So I'm just excited to tell you, these days, when you're going to do an investment, you have to make sure the numbers work. And I know the credit union would love you for that, because when you win, they win. Everybody wins. So it's a win-win situation. So Century 21 is located in Excel Plaza in Grenada. We currently have a staff currently about 12 to 15. We're only 5 years old. We've won numerous awards since we've been in the business for service. We're similar like Netherlands. We're a family. We're welcoming Beverly Rennick, who is here with me tonight. She's the sales manager, and she's here always as a support and always smiling. And I know a few of you already have met me, know me, and you guys know who I am in terms of my personality. And I enjoy dealing with people. I enjoy helping first-time buyers get their first home or buy their first piece of land. I enjoy guiding you through the process, and our entire team is geared towards that. For them, it's not about the transaction. It's about the experience and offering you the best real estate service that you can get on the island. Because we know we have competitors, but we also know that we are above the rest. And that's why I'm here tonight, okay? So, I won't be long. I think right, so we went real estate investment in Grenada. Is now a good time to invest? I would say if you don't invest now, then I think you're making a big mistake. And I show you, as I said before, you've seen and you're watching all the development that is going on in Grenada. Grenada is on the rise. Grenada is being looked at. Things are happening in Grenada. And don't believe Grenada is on the rise because of foreigners. Grenada is on the rise because of you who's sitting here. The small investments you make on a daily basis, buying the small lot of land, the huge house, whatever you choose to buy, you're making that impact. And I'm saying that to you because I think a lot of people have the misconception that foreigners are buying up Grenada and they own most of the real estate. And I'm here to say that's a lie, okay? Most of the real estate are still owned by us. So you should be very proud of yourself as Grenadians, okay? So yes, now is a good time to buy, and why? Why is because property prices. Property prices are still in some areas affordable. What we're seeing, however, that property prices in the Grenada, Cadiz, Trublu, Lantapine, and Mr. Valuator here can attest to some of the things I'm saying because both of us, we do valuation, so we know. As well as St. George's area, a lot of parts of St. George's area now, the prices are increasing, plus some of the areas limited in terms of the inventory that is available. So currently, if you're looking for a piece of land on Grenada's Main Road, if you know about peace, let me know. Okay? I am serious. If you're looking for something in Trublu right now on the main road going in Trublu, if you know about it, if you know a family member or a friend who wants to list, speak to me after the presentation. Because it is limited, and at the minute inventory or certain type of inventory becomes limited, prices start to go up. And we're starting to see that for some areas right now. We're seeing like Trublu, for instance. The last sale I had in Trublu, he laughed at me because he knows, per square foot was $40 US a square foot. I mean, and I'm saying that not to make you scared, but to make you understand. If you had bought there up to 5 years ago, you would have made at least 15% from, 5 years ago to now. It is that crazy, right? So these are the things that you need to understand. So going to buying Trublu now, if you ask me, Paula, should I do that? I would say no. You're buying at the pinnacle. You're buying high. And you don't want to buy high because you always want to buy at a price that you can get increased and gain equity. So I would say no to you, okay? However, there still are opportunities in the south. So anywhere right now you could get a piece of land within market value, so you speak to the valuator, and you get it within market value, I would say buy it. Because land in the south currently, no matter where you buy it, it's going to increase in value. You don't have to buy the land and build on it. You could do land banking. A lot of people don't know about land banking, but land banking is also, if you have the cash and you could do it, it's also a way of making money in the future. Because the more land banking you do, the more the market increases. You can now say, okay, you could lease it. Remember, a lot of us don't think about leasing property. We always think about selling it. And Mr. Klein here could share some details. Well, you'll have to go by him for advice, of course. But he could guide you through the process of leasing and making money with your lease and not selling the land. So I would say to you, currently though, if you're looking for long-term investment for property prices, go to St. David's, guys. Go to St. David's, go to St. Andrews. Don't stay down St. George's. Go places like Springs in the back roads. And you may not see it now, but I remember 20 years ago, I moved to Manjulu from Pedmata. Where we moved to didn't have any, the road was dusty road. We were only 2 houses in there. 20 years later, filled with homes, concrete roads. The house value has gone up by. So I don't have to explain more, but 20 years ago, everybody who looked at that land said, me, I ain't living in that hole in that valley, you know? And now everybody wants to live, how many people you know want to live in Manjulu, right? And you can't find land in Manjulu easily. So it just tells you that sometimes you have to have a vision and you have to see things beyond the know, because everybody tends to think, well, I don't see road going in there. Listen, as Grenada population increases, as buildings continue to build, you don't have a choice, but you have to go in. Not everybody could be out, right? So the small areas will get developed. So the opportunities for property prices, it's still reasonable in some areas, as I said. So you still have St. Paul's, which is reasonable. You still have Wester Hall, Bolio, Boca, Mongay. So you still have parts of Sydney that are affordable. Then you go into St. David's, St. Andrews. St. David's and St. Andrews may seem a little bit far from Grenada, but you guys need to notice something. Traffic in Grenada is becoming a real issue, or is a real issue. And what's going to happen is commercial now going to go out of Grenada. And they're going to go on the main roads, going to Woodlands, Calavini, and I'm not just telling you that, I know that. And with new hotels being developed in the St. David, a lot of commercial property is going to be starting to build in the St. David's area. Then you don't need granads, you know. You ain't coming down granads for nothing. Because the traffic, unless you're working down here and you don't have a choice, but the traffic. So as a person looking to invest, buying a home, take all of this into consideration. Because the traffic to get in granads would continue to be a hassle, and you will spend a lot of time on the road. So you may have to now leave home an hour before you get where you're going. And as development happens, that's what happens, change. So properties are available. We have a huge inventory list. You just have to go on Century 21 website, which is c21grenada.com, and you'll see we have a wide range of properties available. And if you're looking for something and you don't see it on the website, call us. Because we have what you call pocket listings. It's not on the website, but we know our owner who wants to sell. So if you call us and you say, look, this is what I want, then we go out and we get it for you. And we work with all the other agencies in order to provide a service for you. So if we don't have it, we check the other agencies and we show you their stuff. So I know sometimes you have the misconception that the agents don't work together. We actually do work together. So don't let that stop you. And the nice part, mortgage rates, which Communal is offering, which I think is the lowest currently in the market. Now, if you have mortgage rate at 4.99% and you're not buying anything, well, I could say, well, I don't know what else to tell you. Because
This is the lowest mortgage rates have ever been in the last 20 years. And I know you guys could attest to this. Grenada has never had mortgage rates at 4.9%. So I think with this opportunity, you should take it and run. It's no, that's why no is the time to buy, no is the time to invest, because you have more pretty low, and you have a credit union now who is willing to sit with you, speak to you, and find a property and give you a mortgage that you can afford. So take the opportunity. So these are the reasons why I'm saying to you, go ahead. So the benefits of investing: build equity, generate passive income, it can provide a cash flow for you, and owning a property generates wealth. And one of the things they don't teach us, guys, as we're growing up, is how to build our wealth. How we build, because we've always, Grenada is known one of the islands most of Grenadians own land in Grenada. And it's one of the islands that we can say it exists only in Grenada. Most islands, 50% of the population don't even own property. But most Grenadians own. If their mother don't own something, their grandmother or somebody, and somebody passes it on to them, right? So but instead of selling this, because everybody, yes, I'm in the business of selling. I want you to sell your property. It has to change hands, transaction has to happen. But I have gone to list property, and when people explain why they sell it, I say to them not to sell. And I explain to them how, instead of selling, what they could do, so that they can continue to pass this property on to their siblings, to their children, because building wealth, if you're selling and you're getting better, that's okay. So if you living in Boca and you sell your house for $150,000 and you can buy a piece of land down in Grenada, this is betterment, you're improving. Yes, I would tell you to do that. But some people are in some areas and they want to sell, and some of the reasons are not, I don't think it's the right time to sell. And I don't think, and if they don't owe the bank and it's not a dire situation, then no, build your wealth. Take time, have patience. So that is one of the benefits of generating wealth for the future. And it's the great source of passive income is, for instance, if a lot of you, I'm sure, have a house and you have an apartment downstairs, and that helps you pay the mortgage as well as help you pay some of the bills. Or if it doesn't help you pay mortgage, at least it helps you bank some money, right? Large demand for properties, the value of real estate usually appreciates. So no matter what, yes, you might have Ivan, yes, you might have climate change, but real estate, land, my grandmother used to say, land don't spoil, right? As long as the day doesn't spoil, so buy it. And outside of the financial advantages, there are other important benefits, just as my colleague here said, talk about, I think it was you, just where you said people need to have a home, be safe, and all of that. Well, investment helps with that. So let me explain a little bit on the market so you could understand. So if you're here tonight and you're trying to understand, where is Grenada real estate market? What am I seeing out there? I've put it in numbers for you so you could really get and understand. No, in 2013, so this is 5 years. I've been tracking real estate numbers for the last 15 years. I've been in real estate going on 17 years. Okay, and nobody has done this before. Century 21 is the first company to bring out a market report every year now, which is recognized globally by investors as well as, up to yesterday I had an email from a Chinese company because they say they can't find anything else on Grenada real estate market except from Century 21 with this data. So we're very proud of that, and we make it as accurate as possible. So in 2013, we had $27 million done in real estate, and this is real estate, not Century 21. This is the entire country I'm talking about. So this is every one of you purchasing property. In 2014, it went up a little bit by 28 million. Now look the difference between 2014 and 2015. It practically doubled, right? Then in 2016, it went up a little bit again. And in 2017, it kind of evened out itself. And now, in and this is the first time the 2018 figures is being so, you're lucky people because the real estate report is coming out in 2 weeks. So it's the first time I'm actually showing this graph for 2018. And we've done $63 million in sales. And you're gonna ask me, well, Paula, well, what people buying so? You know, well, just for you to understand, there was a prime commercial properties, strong activity in the purchase of development sites, which he has evaluated, because valuators get an indicator of the market because of the type of valuations they're doing. So we had lots of large commercial sites being purchased as well, properties for SGU housing market, okay? And then the diaspora. Now guys, the Grenadian diaspora, and Chanel, we went on a tour last year with Chanel in Canada as well as the UK, so with the credit union, of course, and we know and we see the benefits and the value of a diaspora. So we know, and they're spending the money. They love Grenada, they want to come back, and they're supporting their country, as well as the local Grenadians living here. So that, the volume came from that. That's why I say you think it's foreigners that are buying, but it's us Grenadians. The continued strength of the US and the UK and Canadian economies are also helping our markets, but the UK with the Brexit has been a real issue, so we haven't had many transactions from the UK because of the Brexit, right? But the diaspora remains a major has also helped, and the Grenadian economies continue to be strong, right? And banks, credit unions also said that they had an increase in lending, so that also helped with the market last year. So currently the market condition is excellent in terms of for 2018. And I give you the figures for it, and as I say, it's the highest sales volume in the last 10 years we've had in Grenada, so we should be very proud of ourselves. And here is where you get to understand where people buy. No, 90% of the real estate transaction is happening in St. George's, right? So out of the 100%, 71% is St. George's, 10% St. David's, and the rest is St. Andrews. And then the SGU housing market is at its capacity, and I'm saying this today. So if you're thinking about going and build an apartment building for SGU students, I am telling you, no, don't do it. It is at capacity. You will be making, currently with all there are pre-approved construction already, so what is in the pipeline plus what is currently being built, the numbers are showing that we are at capacity. So and I'm saying that to the board of directors for the credit union, anyone coming to you at this point to build for SGU housing market, you really need to look at the numbers and look at that very carefully. And just contact me and I'll give you all the information you need, right? In order for you to make an informed decision. But right now it's at its capacity, so the risk is going to be very high for the credit union. So please take note of that. And then for the insurance companies, the risk in terms of getting their premium at the end of the month and the students when they don't get to rent it out, okay? So I think this is something that you need to take note of. So foreign buyers, you want to know how many foreign buyers we have in? Last year it was 19%, this year is only 24%. All the rest of buyers are Grenadians. So you should be very proud of yourself. We are the ones driving the real estate market. We are the ones that are buying the properties. So I think there's a congratulations in order, and it is also due to all the mortgage fears and all the events and the promotions that you guys been doing has opened up more doors for buyers and making it a little bit easier for them to get a mortgage. So I think a round of applause is needed here. Right, so you want to know, for me, if you're going to buy a home now, I mean, as a real estate agents, we're here to guide you through the process and to avoid you making a lot of the pitfalls so that you can buy the right property. We negotiate the prices for you. So we add value. Remember that dealing with us is not a cost to you. You know who pays us? The seller. You don't pay us. So even picking up the phone and calling us and asking us a question and trying to understand the ins and outs of buying is not costing you anything, except it's going to add value, because you don't want to buy a house by a gas station, because you know what happened? Your insurance going to be high. A real estate agent could tell you that before you buy the house, you know. Then you go buy the house and then you're in that situation. We'll tell you not to buy by a pig farm, because we know if you buy by a pig farm in 5 years, your value gone down. You go to the valuator and the valuator telling you, no, your property has an increase in value because you have a pig farm and then nobody wants to buy it. We're going to avoid you from building a house for $1 million in Bolio, because when you want to sell it, the valuer will tell you, only $500,000 you will get for it. So there are so many things that we can share with you so you don't make these mistakes. We know the market. That's what we do. That's our job. When you're sick, what do? You go to the doctor. Buying is one of the biggest investments you will make. So why don't you speak to the experts and let them guide you? Because at the end of the day, they can protect you from making some serious mistakes. I've seen people buy land, think they buy it here, build a house on it. The person who owns it comes up to them 10 years later, and I know Mr. Klein could attest to that, sure he had cases, where they've been on the wrong lot, you know. Serious. And they have to either break down the house, right? Because why? When they were purchasing the land, nobody told them to get a surveyor to confirm where the lot is. It's as simple as that. Because they either dealt with the owner directly, right? Or a friend, and the friend didn't give them any sound real estate advice, and then it cost them, and this has happened many times in Grenada. And when they think they purchased a lot, 10,000 square feet, they never do a resurvey, and the bank gave the mortgages, everything, and they find out 10 years later is 6,000 square feet of land they have. Well, so these are the things, and these are the things that we help you with, because we would give you the information and say, okay, this is the first step you take, this is the second step you take, these are the due diligence you need to get done. Barry would tell you, I call him all the time. For if I'm engaged in a transaction, I say to them, get a valuation before you go and give the owner an offer. You give the owner an offer, and then you go to credit union tell you, the house value for $10, and you give the man an offer of 15 EC. What happens there? Then you have to go back, and then the person don't want to sell you the house anymore. But we would say to you, okay, speak to your credit union first, understand what you qualified for, then speak to the valuator, let him go and value the property, and then put in an offer. Then you're safe. And then we say to you, okay, you have the 10% deposit. If not, did the credit union agree to give you 100% financing? So you need to know a lot of information before you start searching, because when you start searching and you don't have information, what happens? Two things. You look at houses that you can't afford. One, you waste my time and your time. And then you get disappointed because you see a house you like so much and then you realize, oh my God, I can't have it. And then you want to blame me, the realtor, right? And you say, well, you shouldn't show me that. Well, I can only be guided by by you. So at the end of the day, what we try to do is put it in perspective and say, look, these are the steps. Let's go one by one so that in the end, you make an informed decision. As I said, if I have said to people not to buy homes, if I notice certain things or if I know certain information, I tell you. I don't hide it from you. If I knew there was a flooding in the house, I'm telling you straight. If you want to buy it afterwards, it's up to you, but it's important that as long as I have the information, I share it with you. I've lost sales because of it, and they actually went and buy the house from another agent. But you know what? I can sleep at night. So trust to me is a big thing, and you should be able to trust the agent you're dealing with and that they'll give you the information. And that's what we strive to do at Century 21. We strive to give you the information to make an informed decision. So if you want to know what opportunities that currently exist in the market, so just for you, the board of directors at Credit Union as well, if you want to offer mortgages to people who are looking to invest, True Blue need a commercial complex. If you notice, True Blue have a set of apartments. Nobody is studying the services. Nobody. Everybody's studying to put people, but everybody still have to come into Grandlands to buy groceries, do banking, do everything. That doesn't make sense. So, with the traffic in Grandlands, and to get out from True Blue, just from the roundabout up to Sugar Mill, takes you now sometimes half an hour on a Friday, but it could take you 2 hours, right? The students, they like to stay inside. They want everything to be just at their doorstep. And with more housing being in that area, having a commercial center in that area just makes sense. So maybe we should have a communal bank there. Just something I'm putting in your head, right? Storage solutions. We have a lot of people looking for storage, and there are not many places you can store stuff, especially we have a lot of expats moving back to Grenada, and they want to bring in containers with stuff. I mean, Woodlands, the guy in Woodlands is kind of doing something, but it's not really being done properly. So I think if storage solutions would be a big thing. Even students sometimes leaving for just the summer, and they just want to store their stuff somewhere, and they're willing to pay market rates for it, but nobody is offering it. So storage solutions. And food and beverage, as the population grow in this area, quality food and beverage, okay? And not only having restaurants, Grenadian style restaurants, it has to, we were becoming we are now, based on Silver Sands, based on all the other hotels, new hotels are coming, you now have to offer a more international cuisine and area, and beverage. And there is the new project coming in Lassages. I'm involved with that project, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer for Grenada. There are so many other hotels that are in the pipeline, and it will be the population in Grenada in terms of tourism numbers and tourists, it will be huge. And one of the problems that they talk about is not having enough places when they come here to go at night. Not many options, a place to eat. So you need to give amenities, right? So you have an opportunity, and you need to start now. Don't wait till they get here and then think you have to do it. You need to think about it now. One of the main things we're seeing in the real estate market is affordable housing problem. When I say affordable housing, who here looking for a house for $350,000 and can't find it? How many of you? Many of you. And that is becoming a real issue. I notice a lot of people don't care about a set of land anymore. I mean, who wants 10,000 square feet of land and have a man come and cut the grass every 2 months and pay him $200? I mean, really? So I am just saying, someone needs to address this issue. Some investors, somebody need to address this issue, because most people could only afford a home between $350 and $450. And I show the loan officers here, I don't know if we have any, the board of directors, I'm sure most of you know that based on people's income, their affordability, most people can't buy a home over $500,000 in Grenada. And then they have to buy land, and then so sometimes they have to buy the land and still wait to build. So, so you have dreams come home. So think about that. That is something you should think about. And then new condo development. We're finding a lot of returning Grenadians when we were at our last trip in New York and Canada with the credit union. A lot of people ask about condos. A lot of returning Grenadians, they don't really care about having a house here. They just want to have a place they could come and spend 2 weeks and rent it out while they're not here. They don't want to care about the gardener. They don't want to care about the property manager. They want to know when it's a hassle-free home ownership. So these are some of the opportunities. If you need to know more and you need to know how to go about doing that, you consult with Century 21 and we can help you through the process, okay? So I just brought a few listings for you to see where opportunities, because St. David's, as I said, is the place to go right now. It's still affordable. It has a lot of more inventory than most of the areas. So if you're looking to invest, I would suggest you consider that area, even for home as well as a just pure investment. Look at that area. Don't wait till in the next 5 years you're going to sit there and say, if you don't know. If you don't know, don't put money in your pocket. You know now. So I'm asking you to please consider these areas. And we have a lot of inventory in that area that we can share with you. Just speak to us. So this is just a waterfront land in Latant, and you see the price for waterfront. I mean, and this is a huge peninsula, and it has good roads to it and everything. And it's really, for that same size of land, if you had to buy it in town, it would have been not 335 US, it would have been million. So I'm just trying to explain the difference right now. Give this 10 years and you'll see where it will go, okay? Then agriculture property again in St. David's with River. Now, don't underestimate agriculture property right now, because remember, food, everybody wants to go green and eat organic. And as people, you have the international market coming in, as people become more conscious about their health, you could provide a premium service. And water is priceless. So having a river going through any property now is priceless. So again, when you look at the price and what is being offered, and all these prices are negotiable, always remember that. And that's why you speak to me, because I'll negotiate a good price for you. This property here in particular, so I know that I don't know if you have seen the press release about the new hotel going in. The press release came out on Monday. I think now Grenada, I think you would have had that, the press release, right? So they had given the location and gave an idea of where the hotel is going to be. Well, this lot is right above it, like in boundary with it. No, this is a no-brainer. As an agent, I would buy this quickly, because I know that the price in 5 years, even as the development starts to develop, it will increase in value. So we have a couple of lots right now around that area. If you're looking to invest, speak to us, because better you buy it now than you wait for the next year or so. And as they continue to put press releases out, as they continue to give progress on that hotel, things are going to change in that area. So always hit the iron while it's hot. This is St. Andrews, so I just give different areas. This is 2 acres of land on St. Andrews Main Road. So for storage solutions, it's flat, right? It's right on Paradise Main Road there, easy to get to, because with storage, remember, people don't come in every day to the storage. So people thinking they have to do storage down here. You have to be creative and have a business model in your mind. You could go pick up the people's stuff, yeah? You could offer a pickup service and have the charge in your rates. So they don't have to come to you. You go to them. You have the internet. They could do everything over the internet. They don't even need to drive or leave their house. So these are just little ideas I'm just putting in your head, because sometimes you think location, but certain business, location don't have to be, you don't have to pay premium for the location, okay? And then this is a house we have in Wester Hall, and it's one of those affordable homes, around five something EC. I mean, we put it in US dollars, but when you do the conversion, right? And it's a lovely home, it's new. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It has the opportunity for you to build the apartment downstairs, has a nice view of the sea, very clean and modern interior. So to me, this is a good buy if you're looking for a home and you could afford. And the price again is negotiable. Lovely neighborhood in Wester Hall, and have access to, it's close to everything. So these are just sample listings that we have, but as I said, we have listings island-wide, including Carriacou. We sell a lot of property in Carriacou. And a lot of you who are looking for retirement and looking for future investment, you should consider Carriacou. Carriacou might just be seen like it's not moving, but Barry would tell you it's moving, but it's moving so secretly and slowly that you don't know it's moving. So this Carriacou is an area you should really look at in terms of making long-term investment. And we love to help you at Century 21. That's what we do. That's our job. We enjoy dealing with our clients. We enjoy helping you. So just contact us. You know how to find me. As I said, our location is in Excel Plaza. Our number is 440-5227. But everything is social. All you have to do is Google me, okay? And you'll find us. And we'll be happy. So any questions or anything you have on real estate, I'll be happy to assist you with that. But thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for listening. And I really do appreciate being here tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Latouche Keller. So much information, I know. Remember again, at the end of the session, the formal session, all these experts will be here. You can have discussions with them privately. For some of you may not want to ask your questions publicly because maybe we're streaming live and you don't want to see yourself on social media or TV or whatever the case may be. So remember that. But at this point, we also want to recognize the arrival of Mr. Alistair Phillip. I'm told he's the acting manager, non-bank credit institutions and money services supervision in Garfin, another important stakeholder. You know, they are our regulator. So we brought everybody here today because these are exciting times and we want to share the exciting part of that. We're officially launching here today. But without further ado, I'll invite Mr. Barry to facilitate the discussions now on any questions you may have relating to real estate.
Good evening to everybody. Leslie Barry is the name, Barry's Engineering, and I'm here to facilitate this part of this evening's proceedings. So let's get the ball rolling and take the questions. I know Mr. Latou spoke a lot about real estate and St. George's and St. David's, but anybody speak about St. John's at all? You know, we just had the Sokamona King. I mean, nobody running to St. John's. What's happening?
They're coming.
All right, they're coming.
The thing about some of the St. John's property, what we realized, which the lawyer will tell you, a lot of statutory decorations and these ones. No, I can't think of it. There's a lot of stats in some areas, which makes it very difficult to buy from those areas. And St. John's area has a lot of stats, which could change into deeds now based on the new law. But so that hinders purchase in those areas. And another area is Woburn. Yeah, Woburn. Well, you know, it's stats. So you can hardly get a property to buy in Woburn without a stat. So these are certain, and that's good for you to know because the banks and the credit unions don't take stats because stats are not securities.
I just want to make a comment. Based on the stats you presented, in terms of the contrary to popular belief that foreigners are purchasing more properties, and the stats shows that it's Canadians purchasing these properties, the bulk of the purchases, and the prices. We have some monies.
Yeah, I mean,
for Grenadians to be purchasing properties at these prices.
Correct.
So it's either an indication that you know, people we have wealth here, or the banks are lending money. So Communal offering rates at 4.99%. I think people should run with it.
Me too. I share your sentiment, and I'm happy they're doing it, because when they do it, we benefit from it as agents because we're able to match people with the right properties so they can get the loans. So yeah, I think I'm excited. I want some flyers to put in my office and to put on Facebook. Well, Chanel is very good at that. Send me the e-copy and I'm posting it because at the end of the day, it helps generate business for us too.
And it's good too that one thing, you know, a good approach is that people who are in the market, you know, to purchase property, new homeowners and stuff, that they approach a financial institution, approach the credit union, and get an assessment on idea as to what they can qualify for.
Yes.
For starters,
Mhm.
for starters, because you may be thinking, you mentioned some figures, 350, it's good to get to know what you qualify for, what you can afford, given your age, the interest rate, you know, what's out there in the market.
And
So-
one of the, yeah, I agree with you. One of the things that with the board of directors here, which one of the things we've had, that he could even share some light on that, is that some people would say they go to the credit union and they really can't give them, the loan officers would say they can't give them an average. They can't, so they need to go look for the property first. We've had that. And then the credit union would tell them whether or not they can get it. Well, I think that's crazy. It's back into front. And it's not doing good for the market. So I think there must be a qualifying system that could be put in place. I mean, I don't know what some of them like, so you know, some clients they do, but I'm just saying, we've had that also. And not the credit union, just the financial institutions. And I think we need, the financial institutions need to come up with a way of qualifying people, not to give them exact. So if you guys are doing it, that's great, but not to give an exact, but at least give them an indication, this is how much you can get, to help us, so that when they come to us, we're not wasting our time. But some of them would say, the loan officer said to them, well, go and see what house you like first, and come back. And we're like, well, you know, and they're adamant, you know. And I said, well, this is crazy, because you could go on to $1 million house and you can't afford it. So, you know, so yeah, so I think in terms of, there must be a way to qualify. So I don't know if you have anything to share on that.
In terms of the
Qualification, yeah.
So, you have to use the mic because I know
Yes.
it's very soft. Yes, we have to use the mic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In terms of the financing, so we would have members come in to us and say, well, I'm looking for a piece of land or see a property that, I see a property that I'm interested in. So we would say to them, if they don't have the land, we would say, did you check out real estate? They said no. So we ask them, what is it that you're looking for? Do you have an idea where you might be? And they may say no. So then we say to them, okay, let's look at your credit history. Let us look at your salary, what your salary can afford you. So we will say to you, based on your salary and what's happening in the market, you might be able to afford a 10,000 square feet, but you might be able to afford a 5,000 square feet. If a 5,000 square feet in a certain area, say Calais, that's probably $20. Or you might go to Boca and it might say $12. So we worked the figures and said, okay, based on where you are in terms of what you can afford, we suggest that. We're not telling you you cannot afford what you want, but we're just telling you this is what we think you might be able to afford. But if you think you're adamant about this is where I want to go, we'll say to you, okay, well, maybe you should check out the real estate and see what they may have in that area. If you want to live in that particular area, what you see, you may not be able to afford that house in True Blue, but you might be able to afford a little land not too far away from True Blue, but within the same area. But so there is qualifying criteria that we look at. We don't just tell a person, no, they can't afford that and go buy real estate. No, we look at where you are in terms of your credit list, your credit history, and where your salary permits you.
Yes, you made mention in your presentation about the 19% of the property. Statistics have a way of not telling actually what happens.
But
I want to know that 19%, if they are buying, because 19% could be buying much more property than the 70%.
Yeah, you're right.
So I would want to know.
Well, I have that breakdown in my report, so I don't want to give you everything. So I'll send you a copy of the report because it's there. But what I could say, no, the 19% doesn't, the number of transactions that they've done does not outweigh the number that they, 81%. So the 81% have spent more money than the 19%. And then number of transactions, because 19% could be only 8 transactions. You have to remember, because the foreign market at 19% could be 21 transactions, whereas the 81% could be 200 and something transactions, you see? So then you look at the average.
But I am saying that the one man could buy 200 acres.
Mm-hmm.
But the 81 persons could only buy probably 50 acres share.
Yeah,
so
I understand.
Still,
yeah, so as I said, I have that information. The data is there. When you get the report, you'll get it. But what I could say to you in terms of the 81% is the number of transactions. The price itself might be more, as you say, the 19% could have bought 19 million and the 81% could have been 13 million, right? I understand that. But, and the 19% could have had only 3 transactions, which I understand. Whereas the 81% could have had 200 and something transactions to get to that. The point is how you want to look at it, because if these 3, you just take away these 3 transactions from the equation and we don't have a real estate. We don't have it. So the people are holding the market is at 81% no matter how you look at it. So that's my answer. Without the 81%, we're no way.
A follow-up question to that. This data, the division between local and foreign transactions, I wonder which side of the equation did people naturalize through the citizen by investment?
We don't put the citizenship by. I have the numbers for CBI, but I cannot put it out.
Is it
but that doesn't include that. All the transaction is organic for Grenada. The CBI is not including in that data. The CBI data is a different data because it falls on a CBI transaction, which we have in the report, the CBI transaction that was done in comparison in the last 3 years. We have that figure, but it's not part of this report.
Had your survey also done with Carriacou in terms of...
Yes. Carriacou is Grenadian. We do Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and Grenada. So if foreign buyers bought in Carriacou, it's still a foreign buyer because it's still Grenada. Grenada is not Grenada alone, it's Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, so we take all the transactions from it. Yeah.
Because I find a lot of real estate buying taking place in Carriacou right now, but most of the foreigners.
Yeah, so you have to remember the report is done on a yearly basis. So the figures are taken from January 2018 to December 2018. Any transaction that happens January to now, we have the data, but we wouldn't share it with you because it's been compiled for the next report. So then you would see those transactions reflected in that report. And we also have in our report how many transactions are happening in Carriacou, how many are happening in each by numbers. So you would see the number of transactions. We even have the amount. So we even have the price value. Okay? So you could now look at that and break it down however you want it. So you have a better understanding. And we explain it, so you'll understand.
Questions?
No questions? Yes, that's a go.
All right. Now, with the fact that we are speaking real estate and Communal Credit Union Dream Come Home launch, there are a couple of things that I would want to share, from our standpoint at Barry's Engineering, which we know are going to help, going to assist you as you move forward. Because I'm really hoping that after this year, Communal Credit Union will be buzzing from tomorrow morning. All right, so let's look at the evaluations section. All right, so we had a short presentation here. If you I'm gonna just run through it quickly. Okay, as I look at this logo that we have on the screen there, I still want to commend my good friend there. He was the one that would have done that for me about 15 years ago. All right. Okay. BECL, or Barry's Engineering Company Limited. Who we are? Well, I'm Leslie Barry, as we say, is the managing director. We were established in May of 2005. So we have been on island here in Grenada for a little while. Okay, we are located Bruce Street Mall, second floor, Bruce Street Mall. Once you get there, you cannot miss us. It's the only red door that we have there now, so you can, can't miss that one at all. Okay, and the services that we provide, we are a consulting engineering company, who also offer architectural services. We do property appraisals and valuations. We also do some development and so forth. We just have here what our mission and our vision is here. We, as we say, we want to become our clients' preferred partner. And today is also a demonstration of that part of our mission. Partnering with Communal Credit Union. We are also part of that initiative that they had in the diaspora last year. And the vision, as we can see, we really am trying to define tomorrow's world. That is our vision, and we, again, I think that is quite timely now with what's happening here with Communal Credit Union. Our philosophy, we just want to run through that also. We try to focus on high quality and cost-effective engineering solutions for our clients. We try to demonstrate professionalism, technical capabilities, and leadership on every project that we carry out. Distinguish ourselves through we like to put our clients' needs first, and lastly, we said continually seek new knowledge, skills, and competent staffing to maintain performance excellence. Some of our clientele, broadly, public sector, private sector. We also do some work for Caribbean Development Bank and also the World Bank. We just put a couple of projects that we have done in the past. Some commercial building, some private residence, some renderings, that of a private swimming pool. We just use some light effects, daylight, night. All right, let's really get to the meat of what we are here now. Properties, assessing your property. Why do we do it? What's the real purpose? The main purpose is to determine the market value. That's one of the main purpose, and we heard a lot about insurance, and as Ms. Diali would have said, you always need to get that to be able to go to insure your property at the insurance. Something we call the replacement cost or the insurable value of the property. So that's so if you are trying to seek a loan at the credit union now to build your dream home, you would need to know what's the value of your property, the market value, and also you would have to insure it. So you need to know also what is the replacement cost, the insurable value should you have a total loss. All right, some of the requirements that we'd ask for when we are about to conduct a valuation. We'd like to get documents, like land documents, a land plan or a deed or something like that, at least to verify some title. We also do a site visit or a site inspection. We don't stay at the office and just do the valuation. We go out there and look at the site, because that is what we would need to be able to assess the property. Right. Some of the factors considered in assessing your property. One, location. That is key. So we look at the location. So be it the St. George's area, be it the St. David's area, and so forth. Lot size also plays a part in the end value. So it's a small lot, it's a big lot, and there are certain requirements. You might be thinking about building a home, could be on a full-blown one. There are things that you will need to know regarding, like say for instance, the Land Development Control Act, or what we call physical planning now. There is a minimum size for a lot, which is 3,500 square feet. So we look at that also to ensure that, you know, at least if you're trying to build a house or something like that, you would have to go through physical plan to get approval. You know, so at least try to comply with what you said there. I mean, we know in the past that our parents would have left us something what we call a house spot, and it doesn't reach that 3,500 square feet. It might be 2,000 square feet, 1,000 square feet, but you know, in situations like that, there's not much that could be done. But in moving forward, we try to at least advise the clients that we should try to stick within that stipulation. The frontage of the property is something that is that we examine. We look at the depth of the plot. We look at the existing use, the potential use. We also look at what we call the highest and best use of that property, of that lot. Okay, because the lot could be used for many things, but what is the best can you get from it? You know, Paula would have spoken a lot about that. The best, you know, the most value that we can get from that lot. Also, again, that's another part that we look at, the environmental vulnerability of the lot. Again, risk. You know, what is happening there? You know, it's an area that's prone to flooding, you know, soil erosion, subsidence, you know, you have earth movements, you know, so these are things that we also look at when we go to do the assessments and come up with the value of the lot. You don't want to buy a lot and then you have issues with erosion, you have issues with subsidence. So we take all that into consideration. Before I will just move a little further than that, I'll come back to the building part. Right, the shape of the lot is something that we also consider too. All right. You might have a lot that's rectangular, one that is square, one that's, you know, it could be like a triangle. You know, that also plays a part into what is the value of the lot. Because although you may have, let's say, 10,000 square feet in a rectangular lot, the same 10,000 square feet in a triangular lot, you know, that, because there are areas of the lot that might be what you call inutil. You may not be able to do much based on the shape. You know, so that also would have an effect on the value of the lot. We look at drainage issues. You know, that is something that's, you know, we find there's a lot of what you call like ad hoc subdivisions nowadays. Somebody might have a parcel of land and they decide to cut it and sell. You know, and they don't take into consideration drainage. So you might buy that lot, but the neighbors' drains have been drained into your lot, and that creates a lot of confusion. You know, so we look at that also. Drainage. We look at the gradient of the lot. Flat. Is it steeply sloping? Because all of that also would affect that. And you know, it's going to affect your insurance. The risk is going to be greater if it's a steeply sloping lot. If it's a lot that it could be flat, but also it could be located close to the river or close to the sea, then it could be prone to flooding and so. We also look at easements and encroachments. Again, we as Paula would have said, maybe you thought you had 10,000 square feet, but that may not be the case. Somebody could have encroached on you. You have less. You know, I mean, I know situations where, as a matter of fact, it was just, I mean, today I was up in Bartley, and there were 2 lots cleared. We have a contractor building a house, but the first one that was cleared was the wrong lot. You know, I even know of another situation where a homeowner actually built in somebody's lot. Built on somebody's lot. The other person never said anything. Never said anything. When they got to the roof, he did a survey, and his boundary actually passed from the veranda, through the kitchen, through the master bedroom. It doesn't matter how she begs, tell me, no, cut it off. She actually had to demolish that part of the building. All right. If there's another situation I know of again that it happened to a financial institution, and we really don't want communal credit union to end up in something like that. Is that the lot somebody built on a lot, built the house on the lot. The financial institution thought that all the securities were okay, but it was also the wrong lot. So it should have been Mr. Jacob's lot. It was somebody else's lot. The house actually is there, and then they were like, Mr. Jessino, stop paying these loans. So the institution didn't have any form of recourse, because it was not the lot that they thought that they had as the security. Okay. So we look at all of those things here. Also the area development, what is happening in your surroundings. You know, what is happening in the St. David's area now. A new hotel is going to be built in Massachusetts. You know, what is going to happen to all the lots around the area? Okay, so we take all that into consideration. Property value range. We also look at access, what we call egress exposure. We also look at soil type, subsurface conditions, utilities, also covenants. And that's one of the reasons why we also ask for at least, let me see some titles. We ask those questions. Because if you have a covenant, you know, in that particular area, it gives you some protection. You know, somebody cannot come and you have your $1 million house there and somebody come and stick a big pen or a fall run behind it there. Because the covenant would give you that sort of protection. And in areas like that, property values tend to be, you know, much higher and you maintain the value. We also look at detracting what we call derogatory features, as we just mentioned. You know, your house or your lot is here, and let's say you have a big pen right around there or fall run. These are things that would affect the value of your property. Again, public transport access, you know, proximity to schools, shopping centers, banks. You know, we look at all of that when we doing our valuations.
Financial institutions, sir.
Financial institutions, yeah, close to the communal credit union. Yeah. All right, so once we have all of these, we assess all of these, then we in a position now to, you know, come up with the value, where we use, you know, methods. And these are some of the approaches that we use there. There is a method called the market or the comparison approach, you know, where we just use what we call comparable sales, you know, property similar in nature, what they were sold for recent times, and you know, and we can make a determination there. We also have the cost approach, you know, as we see where the value calculates the cost to replace the structure with similar. With a similar one using today's labor and material rates, and that's one of the things that we also we use to determine the replacement cost of the insurable value. All right, and that is something that a lot of persons sometimes don't understand, because we know that we had some issues with market value, let's say about 5-10 years ago, where the market was a bit sluggish, and at times the replacement cost would have been greater than that of the market value. Yeah. Right, but the market value is what, the replacement value is what Mr. Diali wants to determine what you're going to be paying for your insurance. So we use that approach to determine that. And then we have the income approach, you know, where this is an approach that we use for like a lot of the commercial properties, the apartment buildings and so, because that is income generated. It's income generated. So we take into consideration operating costs, insurance, your maintenance costs, financing terms, and we can come up with the value. Sometimes you might be surprised. It doesn't matter that you might be operating outside there in a container, on 5,000 square foot of land, selling fried chicken and chips, and you want to sell that property to somebody. And don't think it's just the price of the container and the price of the 5,000 square foot land. No, it's the income generated by that. Because that container on 5,000 square foot of land could be giving you $10 million every year. Would you sell it for the price of a container at $3,000 US? All right. So these are some of the things that we look at in determining the market value for property. It depends on the type of property and also the replacement value. Why are valuations important? As we say, if you're buying or you're selling, again, Paula touched on that. You know, if you are buying a property, you want to know that you are getting, you know, the best price. Not agreeing to buy it for 50 when it's worth 10. And again, if you are selling, you also want to ensure that it has been sold for market value or what it's worth. Again, mortgage, and that's why we are here. Communal credit union needs to know that they have some security. Because that is what would be used there. A mortgage loan, we want to ensure that should something happen, we could have some form of recuperation. The others like taxation, transfer of property. I mean, Mr. Klein could speak about that. Things as compulsory acquisitions and so forth. But for us, I think the first two is what's most important. All right, so we're gonna be building. And I just want to give you a few tips. If you want to building for less, the choice of your site is important. Because it's more costly to build on, you know, a steeply sloping site than one that's flat or moderately sloping. You know, so when you search for lands, you should bear that in mind. Smart choice of lot, basically the same thing here. Smart choice of building professionals. That is very important. You know, who designed your home, how it has been designed. You know, ensure that you get like your quantity surveyors on board, your architects, your engineers. Right, or you have something that they keep it small. It doesn't mean that you build a small house, but ask yourself the question, how much space do I really need? And try and stick to that. And don't build something that is, right? Avoid useless complexities. You know, try and keep the building as simple as possible. You know, a lot of these zigzags and the curves and so that you put in building, it costs a lot. Okay, so if you don't really need it, you should try to eliminate that. Open floor plans, you know, very, it's a nice way to reduce cost. Openness, you have less walls, so that's less money. You know, your foundations are lighter, less steel. At the end of the day, it's savings for you. The simple details, again, smart choice of our materials and technologies. We have something that we said splurge, but if you want to splurge, but you should do it strategically. Okay? Ask yourself there, whatever you want to splurge on, is it adding value? Is it something that we can experience, we can enhance our experience in the home? If not, you might as well do without it. We have design copycats. You know, there are certain things they may want. You know, you could spend some time. We have HGTV nowadays. You have the internet. Make use of it. You know, and the things that you see that you want to incorporate, you know that you have them, you list them, and that takes us to the next point. And then you can start shopping for them online. You know, you might get a good deal for lights in some warehouse or so, and you know, or certain pieces that would enhance your property. And lastly, we said avoid the peer pressure. It doesn't mean because my friend has a big house and I want the same thing too. When she has marble countertop, I want the marble countertop too. Try and live within your means or what your loan officer say that you can afford. So that's again, I just wanted to run briefly to some affordable building techniques. We can use what I call prefabricated panels. You have structurally insulated panels, you have insulated concrete forms, you have light steel frame structures, precast concrete. You have what I call composite flow systems. Everything doesn't have to be concrete, and the blocks and so forth. It doesn't have to be that. These systems are tested. Composite materials are now even stronger than that of the traditional materials. After 40, 50 years, the blocks would get brittle. The timber would start deteriorating, they would fatigue. Composite materials give you like 90 and 100 years. That's what you get from them. So we can start incorporating a lot of these into our designs and so forth. All right, and just some tips for the financial institutions, Communal Credit Union. Based on our experience, in the market, we said that in putting together that whole loan portfolio and advising the clients, and so we should implement what I call some QA, QC mechanism, quality assurance and quality control. It doesn't make sense you're giving $200,000, $300,000 to build a home. As we said, the only investment or the biggest investment you might make for your lifetime, and then you don't have that control when you're building the house, the quality to ensure that the concrete is of the right strength, the steel is of the right size, the blocks meet Bureau standards, the standard. The plywood that you use is treated. Because at the end of the day, you have 20 years or 25 years to repay. You don't want to start spending another $250,000 to repair before 25 years. Okay, so put those mechanisms in place to ensure that the buildings, when they have been built, are properly supervised and you get what you desired quality. One of the things that we also have some issues with here, too many times persons are not, they always have to go back to the credit union for more monies and so, because, ensure that, one, you have proper plans, you have proper estimates, specifications again, you're gonna put ceramic tiles, let's stick to your ceramic tiles, right, and don't leave it for the contractor or whatever, This is one there, number 3, contracts. Ensure that we have proper contracts between homeowner and contractor. Now we have Mr. Klein here that could prepare a proper contract for you. Most of the times, almost every time we're having, getting a call to do a report, contractor and homeowner having some issues. And when you look at it, they do not or they never have a proper contract. One page. The contractor gonna build the house for $500,000, you're gonna pay me on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Sign, nothing. And there is no redress, no recourse for the homeowner. A contract has to be balanced. There's nothing that says, okay, if we fall out, how are we gonna move forward? If there is something that I'm not satisfied with, how is it gonna be addressed? There is nothing as retention, defects period, liability periods, nothing like that. So when problems occur, you already give the contractor all the money. And then you have to go back to the credit union and say, I need another $100,000 to finish. Right, and the last one again is to ensure that we have supervision and technical inspections. I think the credit union should consider, moving away from this phased inspection. The flow slab is finished and we have to disburse payment. to get to the roof. Make a check. What are we checking? Just to have a look and take some pictures and say, yes, the floor slab is finished? Was the floor slab done?
Yeah.
Right. So I think you should engage the professionals in, before. We want to know what happened in the foundation.
Yeah, 'cause they could help.
Once that concrete is placed, we don't know what is inside there. So it shouldn't be just to check to see if the phase is finished, but the emphasis should be on quality, and that the right thing is done. We stick to the plans, we stick to the specifications. Because at the end of the day, it's the homeowner that has to pay back the $300,000 and the $400,000 and the $500,000. Thank you. Any questions?
A quick comment.
Right.
On the last thing you spoke on there, it's going to be at a cost.
Yeah.
Right? The inspection to make sure things are done the way it should be. And oftentimes the homeowner is borrowing at the max, for the house, to build the house. So there has to be some kind of partnership, nice deal with you, the engineer, to offer that, to make it affordable for the credit union to offer that as a service to the
As we say, that's why the mission of Barry's engineering. So it's a partnership. You're right.
The other thing, during the recession, a lot of the financial institutions contacted us to list their properties. And a lot of them did not know where the properties were. They gave the loan for the property and never knew where it was.
Yeah.
And that was the most alarming thing to me. They just knew it was in Grand Mall, and they couldn't tell you which house in Grand Mall. So it's just to emphasize on what he's saying in terms of quality. And then we've had situations also, because of lack of the supervision he's talking about. I know people veranda that came out of the house, fell or left the house, and it's because of lack of supervision. But they had a mortgage, and then they're telling you they can't pay, they can't go back because they can't go back. The value of it puts the credit union as well as the mortgage person in a bad stance. It really does. And if you're looking for partnership and looking for win-win situations, to me, certain things should just be mandatory. It should not be, because it protects the value of the property for you as the credit union, because that's your security, and for the person who is borrowing, it protects them. So I think certain things should not be an option when it coming to building a house. And as realtors, these are the things when you come to purchase properties, like buying property on buying steep land. We tell you, if you choose to buy a steep lot, try and get it really cheap, because your excavation costs could be the cost of the house. So we understand all of these things, because that's what we do. We would tell you, if you buy a house close to a disco, that most likely when you go to value the land by the credit union, by the valuer, they would tell you the land. Even when you come to list property with us, we tend to give you the prices based on all these factors. Yeah, and some owners would tell me the land, to them, the land worth $20 a square foot, and when I go and I tell them $10, they're telling me to leave their house and go. But at the end of the day, you can't, there's so many factors. So I'm just saying, it's important that for both the buyer, the mortgagee, and the credit union, there are certain things I think, especially now in Grenada. And another thing is the curves in the house. Remember that one day you might decide to sell a house, personalizing that house to that point where you put so many personal features and zigzag that the house will be difficult to sell. because you're not making it, the right word. Yeah, you're not making it attractive. Yeah, for the general. So you keep that in mind. And as the credit union, these are things you need to look at, because you never know where that person will end up. They can't pay their mortgage anymore, and you have to foreclose on them, God forbid. And then you stuck with a house that is, and we've seen that. We've gotten, the financial institutions have gotten stuck with homes, and they can't sell it, and it put their books into problems. So these are the little things. So for me, I think,
Questions?
Yes, that's it.
All right, so we're gonna have the rest over cocktail. All right. Again, thanks to everybody for coming out. Thanks to the credit union for inviting us, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Barry. So much information, I know, and the thing is we're running a lot behind time. So we might cut some of the discussions a bit short, but don't feel like you can't ask your questions. This is live, so it's online somewhere. You can go and find all the discussions, everything afterwards, and you can always find them at the cocktail after to speak to them directly. They've left their contact information. Each person is selling nicely, so you can contact Mr. Barry, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Atush, Ms. Diali, and they will assist you as you can. So at this juncture, we've heard from the legal, fraternity, evaluators, real estate. It's a good time to invest, insurance, or to transfer your risk. And we want to move to the point that the gel that brings it all together, the financing now of that dream home or property. So I want to invite Ms. Chanel Andrews, who's our marketing officer at the Communal, to facilitate discussions on financing that dream home. So Ms. Andrews, let's welcome her.
Good afternoon, well, good night, everyone. I know we're close to midnight, right? But it's a worthy discussion, and I promise you I'll be very short, okay? So, as you know, I am Chanel Andrews, and I'm the marketing officer at Communal Credit Union, and I'm here to discuss the wonderful promotion on the poster that's all over the room, 4.99%. Everybody inside this room, I'm certain that you want that rate right now, so you want to hear how you can achieve that rate, okay? Now, Communal has grown over the years. As you know, recently we opened our branch at Grenada, so our business center, that we call it. And we not only provide loans and savings, but we have forums like this where we educate our members. Because at the end of the day, you are our shareholders, and we want to seek the best interest for everyone, right? And of course, you want to ensure that Communal on a whole excel. We are stable and a financial institution that grow. Our dream is to become the first choice financial institution in Grenada, and it's you, our members, that can help us achieve that. And one way you can do that is by bringing your mortgage wherever you have it over to Communal to help us push up our assets and get us to where we want to go, right? I hear nobody agree? You don't want the 4.99%? So I don't know what's happening technically there, Lyndon. Go ahead. So you could skip that because the introduction, the moderator talked about Communal. For those of you who are not a member, this is just the basic information on how to join the Communal Credit Union. So in order to get a loan, you must be a member, and you complete an application form, 2 pieces of identification cards, proof of address, a utility bill or something in your name. The non-refundable registration fee is $30, and you purchase 40 shares, and you can do that within a 3-month period. In case you don't have the $200 up front, we can give you 3 months to purchase that 40 shares, and you select whatever savings plan. Now, I know one popular question is, how long do you have to be a member to obtain a loan? So you may have your mortgage, or you want to bill also, and you want to know how long you need to be a member. Now, for this promotion, you can join today, and you can apply for the loan. So that's some great news. And this is just some of the special services Communal offer outside of loans and savings. We have online banking, so you don't need to come into our offices. You can do business anywhere in the world with us. We have our international Visa debit card that is recognized internationally. I know some of you had problems because the card don't have a chip. I have good news for you. Before 2019 ends, we will be launching our chip card together with the other Connect network partners. So that would be a thing of the past. Convenient location, I talked about our small business services. We have our business center located in Grenada, just across the street at the Food Fair Shopping Center. Access to our discount card. Once you're a credit union member, you can go into places like Tribbies and get, I'm not sure for Gittins, I think Andal is on it, and you show your Communal card, your credit union card, and you can get an automatic discount, right? And of course, as a shareholder, you have a voice. You can say who you want on the board or any committee, and you can share your views of things that you like and do not like at our annual general meeting. No, go ahead. So what's so special? What's that special 4.99 we have here to launch? So it's a special mortgage promotion. And this year we decided, now we know everybody is offering a mortgage. Apart from the rate, what can we do different to benefit both us as an institution and our members? We know investing in a home or any form of investment in real estate can be a very difficult decision. You want to know which is the right property to purchase. You want to know how you should approach it. There are legal things and legal implications. And we decide to have a forum like this where we can educate our members and provide the opportunity where they can learn all they need to know. So when they come before us for financing, they will have everything together and we can make the process as smooth as possible. And this is why we are here today. No, I think, yeah. Okay, that should be a video, but we'll just go ahead for interest of time. So I'm gonna talk about the mortgage promotion. The 4.99%, Dreams Come Home, that's the name of it because we want you to come home to Communal. We want you to feel at home when you get a mortgage, right? We don't want you to be stressing over your contractor and over the deed day by the lawyer, how long, and they can't come back down, understand what? And why they're taking so long. We want you to just feel comfortable and at home. And to start it, we are giving you 4.99%. Now I must say our interest rate for this mortgage promotion starts at 6.5 and comes down to 4.99%. Now your interest rate will be determined based on your credit risk and all of that, right? So don't come and say, Miss Andrews stand here and she said everybody is getting 4.99%. In all my life, I've never deceived people, and I would never do that. As I said, we're starting at 6.55, and we're coming down, right? Now, the purpose, go back one, land purchase. Anybody interested in purchasing land? Home, you want to purchase a home or you want to build, whether it's residential or commercial, you can qualify under this promotion. You want to switch your mortgage, you want to pick up your mortgage and run with it to Communal, feel free, right? Now, new loans only, we are providing up to 90% financing on land purchase and purchase or construction of residential property, up to 75% financing for commercial properties. And interest rate, as I said, we are starting at 6.55 and coming down to 4.99. So you have to see where you fall, right? And reduce legal and mortgage fees, together with reduced negotiation fees. Does that sound good enough? Yeah. Right. Now, existing loans. You may have your loan. Somebody was in the back murmuring, if I have my mortgage already, it's with you already, how could I benefit from this? Are you going to change my rate to 4.99? Existing members can get a home equity line of credit, which can help with home improvement. So say, for instance, you have your house, you have some project you want to do. You might want to do the downstairs, fix up your yard, expand, or maybe something around the home you want to do. We have a line of credit. Now, you would have heard from the valuators and the real estate companies that your home would have equity. And equity meaning you may take a mortgage for $300,000, but at the end of the project, your house is valued for $500,000 because valuation don't take how much you spend, but market conditions and based on location and all of that. So the equity now is the excess, and then you started paying your mortgage. So the mortgage that you initially take has went down. Say for instance, you pay $100,000 already, so your loan officer or your loan rep would assess the value of based on the value and how much you pay already on your mortgage and see how much you can qualify for. Okay? Is that clear enough? And is that good enough for persons who have their mortgage already? You can get a line of credit from us, and that process is very simple. Earlier on, somebody asked about how would you know how much property mortgage you can qualify for. Now, there are a lot of mortgage calculators online. You know how much you're working for. You can go online, you know how much you're looking for. Play around with figures, and that can give you an assessment. You can also contact your loan officer to find out how much you can qualify for based on your income and your expenditures, right? Okay, now switching. You have your mortgage somewhere and you want to run with it to Communal. Now the rate matching is available. So we would match the rate you have up there, and we pray to God it's not below 4.99%. Okay, but if it's below, trust me, we'll work out something with you, right? Qualify for 100% financing for loan takeover, because the truth is after you do a mortgage, you don't have no savings, you don't have nothing. All you're doing is just paying for this house, right? So we'll take in consideration that, and we'll try our best to see how you can qualify for 100% financing, right? We also are cognizant of the fact that your penalties, and so you have to pay for moving that mortgage. So we'll take all that into consideration when we're negotiating with you, okay? And of course, we'll also make persons who have, individuals I should say, who have mortgages outside of Communal and coming over, apart from all these good things I talk about, we're gonna see how best you can qualify for the line of credits. So sometimes you wanna move your mortgage and you also want to do a project on your house, we'll also assess and see how we can give you a little top up to do that. Okay? What are the requirements? Very simple. You must be a member, as I said, to apply for a loan. Our usual deposit is 10%, but as I said, each individual case is unique. We would assess, see if you could afford the 10%. If you could afford to pay them more, even great. And if you can't, that doesn't mean we're going to tell you, well, you don't have your 10%, goodbye. We're going to assess, maybe you might have a land loan, you pay a certain amount on the land loan, and there's equity in that, or other things. We're going to use different means to assess that, okay? Your ability. Now, proof of income, you must be earning something somewhere to get a loan, because we are concerned about our members' money and how you are going to pay it back. Security or collateral, mortgage bill, bill of sale, mortgage, bill of sale, co-maker, salary deduction. These are things we use to consider security. And of course, a good credit history. A sale agreement, you need a sale agreement. Once somebody tells you they're going to sell a property to you, you have to get a sale agreement, your valuation report on that property, and we have a list of approved valuators. So we're encouraging persons who are interested in coming to us. Don't just get up and go to any valuator, but find out who are our approved valuators from our list, and you go to one of those, right? Property tax receipt, you have to make sure the person that is selling to you has paid up their property tax. And even if the property is yours, you have to make sure the property tax is paid up to date, right? Copy of your land title deed and surveyor's plan. Approved plan from physical planning. For those of you who have reached so far to have your drawings and you know what you want, you get it approved by physical planning, and then you can come to us. Your construction insurance coverage, which is so important because so many things could go wrong. A disaster can happen while you're building, and you need that insurance coverage to cover for that. Okay? We do offer all these other types of loans that you would be aware of. I would not call out the list. Home banking that I spoke about. And on our home banking, I just like to encourage persons that we have online banking, mobile banking. You can sit right here in this room, check your account, transfer money, do anything at Communal that you'll do in the office, right? E-statements, e-alerts, online applications. We facilitate all of that through our home banking screen. So that's just for information purpose. And you can visit our website to get started, and even for more information on this mortgage. And I'll close by letting you know that we are committed to serving our members, and we want to make sure everybody experience greatness at Communal. And that is why the name of our mortgage promotion is Dreams Come Home, and we want your dreams to come home. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Andrews. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know where the sign-up table is outside, but I certainly will be coming to look for all of these people, especially the loans officers at Communal. And just to add a little story here before we close. We will not have a discussion after this. I think a lot has been said already in terms of finance and all the other things, and they are available afterwards. But I could recall when I became a member of Communal, I actually did so without even stepping into Communal. And I say that to say, to highlight the quality of the service that we can get at Communal. So it's not just the rate. Another financial institution potentially can match that rate, but I think an area where Communal stands out in terms of its customer service, and even more so at the recently launched Grandlands Business Center. Top quality service. I mean, I don't know nowadays about you guys, but you go into banks, you go into other financial institutions, you stand up inside it for days. I could recall I went into a commercial bank one time, 3 people in front of me. I spent 2 or 3 hours in the bank. I never went back. I moved to Communal. So I want to encourage you to run with it, pick up your existing mortgage from wherever, move over. You have all these other loans you can get, line of credit, this, that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited. And so just to close this evening's proceedings, I'll invite the general manager. I'm very hardworking, very committed, very, energetic, and leading spearheading that campaign. The general manager of the Communal, Mrs. Lydia Courtney Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I don't think I can go through this either because after all that has been said here earlier, I think we just want to run with it. Right?
Yes, definitely.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we came, we listened, and now it's time to act. We came here as individuals, we shall leave as investors. We want to engender the cooperative spirit. So Century 21 would have showed how we could invest in some things that are needed. Don't do it alone. Come together. Form a cooperative. Come and get the loan. Put that in so that you as individuals can begin to invest in Grenada and benefit. It is my honor to extend a hearty thank you to all of these professionals here this evening. I think the presentations and the discussions were enormous. This evening, we are indeed elated to be part of this financial symposium. Sorry, folks. To our partners, Melissa Dialli from Netherlands Insurance, Delonnie Edwards from the law offices of George E.D. Klein, Mrs. Paula Latouche Keller of Century 21, and Leslie Barry of Barry's Engineering, we wish to express our sincere appreciation for joining us here this evening in what I will consider a signature event, not just for Communal, but for the credit union sector. Paula, I just want to pause to congratulate you on your recent award. Those of us who are following and follow Century 21 will see that Paula was awarded recently for the excellent work she is doing here in Grenada and in the Century 21 group. We at the Communal are very proud today to have a cadre of professionals like yourselves to bring to our shareholders something tangible, something that can change their lives, something that is an investment for you, our shareholders, and your families. And we really want you to start considering yourselves as shareholders of Communal. I also want to say thanks to the people on our side, the moderator, our director, Phil Antwine, our president, Jacob, our marketing officer, Chanel. You two have added to this evening's proceedings. And to the other partners and colleagues of Communal, the media, of course, and those of us who have been working tirelessly in the background, planning this event, a heartfelt thank you as well. I believe this evening we all have to be telling ourselves the same thing. All of us here, once we are a shareholder of Communal, it is time to come home. We all have to be asking ourselves the same question. Why, as an investor, I am investing in promoting somebody else? Why am I growing wealth for somebody else other than myself? The real question is really, why as a shareholder who owns this business, I have chosen to shore up wealth for someone else than myself? Maybe it's completely unknown to you. Maybe we don't see ourselves as shareholders in this business. And so you can ask yourself, where you currently have your mortgage now, what benefit, what difference, what is happening there that we cannot do for you, that we have not done for you before? And I can assure you that from all that you've heard here tonight, from all that you've listened to, we certainly can. Warren Buffett once said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. I don't know if any of us are familiar with that. "55 years ago. Today I want to refer to us as being in the shade. That tree was planted for us and we should maximize on this wealth that we can all create for ourselves. And so if we pool our resources, if you save with Communal, I'm not asking you to close your account, don't get me wrong, wherever you are. I'm just home with your mortgages, come home with your savings too. You know we pay a little above the market. Maybe some of you all don't know that, yeah? But we pay you more and we lend you at same or less. So when you go home tonight, have the conversation. Have it at the dinner table, you know? Ask yourself, why am I not shoring up my own self? Okay, I will only buy food in a certain place because, you know, I want to get a little dividend. I ain't gonna buy food in the other place. I'm just saying. Food for thought. In closing, I thank all of you for attending. We leave here with a renewed vigor to be of service to you and to create more investment opportunities for you and your families in the future. Here is an opportunity to save through lower interest rates on lending and higher interest rates on deposits. And still, all the benefits from that come back to you. As said earlier, we are not for profit, but for service. So everything that your credit union earns belongs to you. Some of it, of course, is reinvested so that the credit union can grow even more, can bring better service to you, but you are the sole beneficiary. So as we leave here tonight, leave here with one mandate. Go to sleep tonight. Dream. knowing that dreams can come home, and tomorrow, come home. Come home to Communal. I thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Courtney Francis. And I think these are good words to close with. I'll just leave you with one little quote. Somebody once said it's important to seize opportunities within the lifetime of the opportunities. We sometimes always say we don't have opportunity to do this and that, but sometimes they're there right in front of us. Seize them in a timely manner. Sorry? July 31st. So correct. So there's an excellent promotion. I mean, we've gone through the details, but it has a lifetime. And it's important that you seize that opportunity within its lifetime to change your life. So come home with us. I thank everybody that went before me. As we close, I want to invite you. There's a cocktail outside of the Oasis Pavilion where we can continue discussions and start to put some pen on paper and things like that, right? So thank you all for coming. It was great to see you, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Good night.
Everybody's there?